Get situated this morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. All right. All right, let's get the screen right. Screen right. Good morning. Who we got coming in so far? Sharon and Mark and Heaven and Michael and Terry and Augustine. Thorba Jorn. Wahid. Let me get my coffee. Hold on. I know they found Atlantis, right? I'm just gonna let you know I didn't know. Y'all didn't tell me they found Atlantis. I think highly important. We think about the fact that they actually had to look for it. That's the issue with Atlantis. It's not that they found it, it's that we actually had to look. All civilizations go extinct because we're stupid. We're monkeys, y'all. 98%. All right, let me get everything going. Who we got? Sister Deborah and Crystal and Ivana and Nikki and Kathy and Gail, Sean and Kelly, Rod, Ann and Michael. Oh, they found Atlantis. I'll post the links. What's it called? The Rashad? It's called the Rashad structure. Oh, that's Atlantis. So I was up. Hold on, wait. Before I get going, I gotta get all my stuff up and running. Get YouTube. How's everybody doing this morning? Everybody doing good? Is the world still there? Is your section of the world still there? I don't know. 40 million people in my country are starving. And that's the published numbers. I think it's a lot worse than that. All right, everybody comes in. Let me get my YouTube and Facebook so I can see what people talking about. Share this out. Appreciate you sharing, by the way. I watch everybody that shares. I keep an eye on it. I appreciate it. It's not about me. It's about a message. It's about a message that we don't get to make it if we don't grow up. We don't get to make it. We don't rediscover our humanity. Like I was posting a minute ago. Hold on. Now you're getting old. All these tools, man. Let me see. All right, there we go. There we go. Got my YouTube. Whew. Everybody in? Everybody ready to go? All right, there we go. That. Everybody got their coffee. You know what? The Bajorn said Atlantis went off grid. I don't think they did. I don't think they made it. I don't think they did. I think they were too stupid. I think they didn't listen to people who, like you, are talking about sustainability and living off grid. I think we put all our eggs in one basket. And damn it, that basket always gets crushed. There's always an asteroid. There's always some rogue government. And we always end up in a spot where we don't make it. All right, I think I'm ready to go. All right. Hopefully everybody's doing good this morning. Been getting in trouble online as usual. People want me to join a team. Get on my team. Come on and fight with us. And I'm like, you can fight all you want. I think we need to listen to Socrates. That's what I think. Because I was listening to, what's the name of that book? I was actually listening to his book this morning. In two of his books, he talked about Atlantis, the Timaeus and the Chrysaeus. I didn't read the Chrysaeus, and I know I'm pronouncing them wrong, but I don't care. I was listening to the Timaeus this morning, trying to get some hints. Where am I supposed to go? But they found Atlantis, apparently. It's in this place called, where is that place? It's the Rashad structure. I didn't know there was a documentary. I'll post the links. But it's in Africa. They found it. The Younger Dryas period came, flooded the whole structure, covered everybody and all the technology in mud, scattered all the goods across northern Africa, and then the water receded, and it actually took back a lot of the mud with it, made the shallows, and everything that Socrates was saying was true. It was all true. It was all true. They even measured the structure. It met the exact measurement from side to side of what Atlantis was supposed to be. So what's interesting to me is when we find out in time, when people tell us the ancients that y'all think were crazy, I don't think they're crazy. I don't think they had myths. I don't think they had liars like we do today. Lying is an art of people who got a lot of downtime, like politicians, like lawyers. Lying is just something that people do in a time when storytelling, you have the leisure to make a bunch of stuff up. You don't get people murdered and killed for telling stories. I think the stories are true, and I think they passed them down. You look at things like the Kali Yuga and the fact that every couple thousand years, civilization gets knocked back to less than 10,000 people or less. It's because we're stupid. It's because we're 98% monkeys and we're still fighting over dumb, silly stuff that everybody. Anyway, that's my theory. I think we always go down that route. But the Younger Dryas came, wiped out Atlantis. They had stories of it. They told it across Africa and over into Egypt. And Egypt passed it on to, I don't even think it was it Plato, or it was the brother he talked to? I forgot his name. Handed down to Socrates. They wrote it down, handed it down. And the only reason we even have evidence of any of that is because people learned to write and write it down. And that was one of the things the Egyptians told, I forgot his name, that Socrates got it from, who visited, was that, you know, every couple thousand years we get wiped out, and we realized this. And so we started building stone temples and writing history on the wall, because we always get wiped out and very few people make it. And so they were talking to the Greeks, and they were explaining that, you know, the Greeks, you go back to one deluge. That's what you remember. We remember, I think it was 9 or 12, significantly further back in history. Why? No, yeah, Plato. I'm sorry, I'm saying Socrates. But it's philosophers. Y'all, we need philosophy. Philosophy lives matter. We need some right now. We need some philosophy. We need to get a heart. Why? Because 40 million people starved in my country, which usually probably means 80 million. Politicians are telling you to lock your doors. Politicians are telling you we need more police. Your parties are telling you that this is normal. We'll be okay. We have to look for the Atlanteans. Okay. And if these people had flying ships and they had this high technology and all the stuff that everybody talks about, and they didn't make it, and we just barely got our flying ships, and we're still fighting over fossil fuels and trying to agree and disagree whether or not everybody's life matters across the whole planet. No, I'm not selectively. Nope, I'm not. I don't believe that just Black American lives matter. I think Black lives matter all over the planet. I think white lives matter all over the planet. Yellow lives matter. And more than that, that you're human beings. You're not stupid enough to be a color. You're not stupid enough to think that your skin color determines who you are, who you should group with, and who you should fight with. Everybody's lives matter, right? But this is why, I think this is part of why Plato was so interested in talking about the fall of civilizations and how government structures work and how they play people against each other and how kingdoms always fall. The Romans, the empires always collapse. They never make it. And I think it's because of this concept of giving very few people all the power. For some reason, our brains don't work right. We get to a spot where we give very few of the people all the power. Like, I asked this question because in my country, people going nuts. They're going nuts. And I know y'all overseas, you're watching it. They're like, oh, we got it. We hate Trump. We love Trump. Then they hated Obama. They love Obama. Hated Bush. Love Bush. This went back and forth and nothing changed. Like, I don't think the question is Trump fit to lead? Like, that was some good stuff in the news this morning. They were asking some questions. Is Trump fit to lead? I don't think that's the right question. I think the question is, should one man lead 250 million people? Should one person make the decisions for self-determining free human beings from every single culture and ethnicity across this planet make decisions for that many people? Oh, I think the model of government is broken. I think the model of government that we have all over this planet, I first got it from, I think Joe Rogan said it first. He started, but I added a few of my points to it. I don't think it works. I think that we get our government from people who wrote with feather pens, who beat their wives, raped their women. They thought women were cattle. They hated all pre-cultures. They hated all indigenous people. and they wore white wigs that had fleas in it, and they created all the government. Like, I don't know. I think sometimes our biggest problem is we lack the ability to like think about these things from a root holistic perspective. Doesn't make any damn sense. I don't think one person can lead. And I'll ask a question for y'all who, because I still got a lot of friends on the hate Trump. Got to impeach Trump. The world, we're gonna make it as Atlanteans when we get rid of Trump. You know, we're gonna feed 40 million starving Americans in a country that has the biggest military in the world. We're gonna keep everybody divided and keep fighting on different sides, and this is gonna work really well for the whole world. We got enough nukes to destroy the whole world 200 million, what 200 times over. This is gonna work out real good, y'all. We just gonna get rid of them. And y'all know me. I could care less about who runs America or what puppet they put in that seat. It's a useless discussion, completely useless, empirically proven. War to war, starvation to starvation, genocide to genocide, slavery to slavery. All American governments, administrations, all do the same thing, period. It doesn't matter one bit. But if you say, okay, well, it's not the president that runs America, if you still believe civics class, it's the Senate, it's the Congress, it's not my prime minister, it's the congressional groups. Remember, it was all written by men with wigs who raped women and happy and hated other people. If you still believe that, okay, so name 500 people qualified to lead every indigenous type of ethnic cultural group from all across the planet Earth. Name somebody that's smart. Name 500, name 1,000 people that's smart. And not just 100,000 different cultures, but the new ones. Right? What am I saying? The new ones? We got, well, it's not even new. The ones going back to the old models like anarchy, the people evolving, their brains are looking around. They're realizing that communism and capitalism and all of this nonsense doesn't work. They want to take bits and parts and pieces of it, a very logical thing to do, that actually work for people as opposed to corporations and systems, and roll out new ethnicities, new cultures. Doesn't work for them. We've exceeded this model of having this government, pre-colonized government structure to tell everybody how to live. We are going to go the way of the Atlanteans, y'all. This is unfortunately, every couple thousand years it happens to us. We end up taking all of the wealth, all the resources, all of the greed, and shoving as far as we can into a very small segment of the population. Our betters, because we love them. We love them. We want to give them everything. We want to go the way of Atlantis. We totally want to disappear. And I don't think it makes any sense. I don't think it makes any sense. I don't think we need to be locking our doors when people are starving. I think we need to unlock our hearts. I think we need to unlock our empathy. I think we need to do more farming. Why? Like this is how crazy this is. I think Bjorn said something. This is how crazy. He's always talking about sustainable communities. This is how crazy it is. All across the United States, the country that actually is going to end up invading your country or starting World War III or blowing up some nukes and some 5G experiment, something to kill everybody. Some invisible soldiers get on the loose, murder everybody, AI robots. All across this country that's starving. This is how lost your politicians actually are. You know what they grow when you grow? If you ever drive across America, I go back and forth and I take a look around. You know what the crop that probably 70% of all the big massive fields that could be feeding the entire population. You know what they're growing? Genetically modified soy and genetically modified corn. Why? Not to feed you, but they put that in all the processed foods and to feed the cattle and feed the sheep and feed all of the animals and the chickens and everything else. They're not growing tomatoes. They're not growing peppers. They're not growing stuff people eat. You know, when the Great Depression came, we had farmers growing diverse crops. We didn't have a government that constantly subsidized the lack of biodiversity all throughout America. That's how I know we in trouble. We're in big trouble. Because you know why? They don't make locks strong enough. Your politicians, they keep telling you, oh, we need more police. What did Obama? We need more prisons. We need Trump. We need more police. We need more locks. Don't feed the people. You need to hide it from them. Keep it away from them. This is what we need to do. You will never have enough police. Number one, let me tell you this. You ain't gonna never have enough, because I tell you, some of y'all still on the hate police thing. I'm not on that planet. I was talking to this New York City cop the other day. Oh, the police getting bunkers too. They're getting bunkers too. They're actually paying attention to the UN doing training in America. They're paying to the foreign troops who are coming in. Why? Because when you roll out martial law in America, the police can't be your police. You need international people, because the police, they got families here. They got cousins. They got sisters and brothers and everybody. They're not going to do the crazy stuff that's needed to be done. Some Russian troops will. UN troops will. People who have no relatives will do what they need to do. When you're starving a population and you have politician after politician after party after party after party, what are they saying? Love Trump or hate Trump. They get people who just got good brain, some of the bestest brains, intellectuals actually on this boat to actually think that a starving population is going to be helped by replacing a president. That starving population is going to break the lock off of your door. Because let me tell you this, no matter how much you think that priest, oh, it's just a man of God. That priest just loves you to death. Oh, the priest won't hurt you at all. The same priest where they caught a couple thousand of them diddling little kids. Yeah, those priests, those guys. They wouldn't come to your house if their kids were starving, break down your lock, chew it the hell off, chew the wood around it from off your door, come through your door, murder your whole family for a can of beans. They will. They will. And how do I know that? Because they did. They did. Why do I go back to Atlantis? I always go back and look at the past, and I like the past because the past is how you determine what you need to prepare for in the future. The Atlanteans had no idea the Younger Dryas was coming. They had all the other civilizations, they had no idea necessarily that the asteroids were coming in the flood and all these deluges, and people who are on the anti-religion, they're like, oh, the Bible's not true. It's all a bunch of made up stories. Your ancients didn't agree with you. They don't agree with you. I don't think they got all the stories right. Gilgamesh and the delusions, these things that always came and wiped out human civilization. But this is what's different right now. And this is the only place that I have a little bit of my hope. Is now we got the internet. Now we actually can talk to people. Now we can say things like your politicians are trying to get you to buy locks and guns because they don't want you to unlock your heart. They don't want you to unlock your empathy. They don't want you to unlock, your essence that you're so detached from because you think you're a color, because you think where you were born determines who you are. And that's what matters the most. I talk to people that say, well, I'm just kind of trying to look out for my people. To me, that's one of the most racist things you could ever say. It's one of the most ethnically bigoted things that can ever come out of your mouth. Well, I'm not against the other people, but I'm looking out for my people. That's why we're here. That is why we're here. That is why hundreds of millions of people all over this planet are starving. Because you tribalize on your side, they tribalize on their side, and the wealthy take it. They take the whole kitty home. They take the whole booty home. They use all the automation to make robots to get rid of you. Y'all think these people are crazy. You're talking about the resource-based economy, the gift-based economies. You think they're nuts. You think these people are survivalists, talking about off-grid communities and making sustain. Guess what? If Atlantis was sustainable, what if they took all their flying ships and their technology and they utilized it to prepare for whatever's coming? To realize that we are on this unstable rock, and all the ancients wrote all these books and scrolls and scriptures to tell us that bad things always happen to us and we got to look out for each other. Like, why would all of the ancients say the same natural law message? Love everybody, look out for people, give people the shirt off your back, because they know what we become. They know we become wild when we have a wild government. They know we become wild. Well, I'll say it the right way. When we have a government that rolls out the wild, they roll out environments that tweak and bring out the worst in our children. They bring out the worst and the people on this side with their hate, and the people on the other side with the nice hate. Y'all know the nice hate? The well-mean hate. Like I was posting the other day. I just sit back in this country. It's like a show. I'm like eating popcorn, drinking my coffee. Like, dang it. The bigots is fighting bigotry. Look at this. The racists are fighting racists. This is crazy. The fascists are fighting fascism. Y'all, why is anybody seeing this? Like the Democrats are fighting the Republicans. They the same damn people. They work for the same damn company. Oh, but I say, by the way, and speaking of growing genetically modified corn and soy all over a country where you got starving people in view of the fields because the government subsidizes it. You got any bear stock? You shouldn't. Don't get rid of that. Y'all need to dump that. You need to call your person today and look at your portfolio. Look at your portfolio. If you got any bear stock, that's gone. That's gone. And I think that's hopeful. That's hopeful. But you got to use the internet for that purpose. You know, why is the government taking over Facebook and Google and YouTube and all of that? Because they think that they're going to make it. That's why. They think they're going to make it. They tell you, oh, you don't need a bunker, baby. You don't need to grow food. It's illegal. You know, they make it illegal actually to grow food here. A lot of people can't even grow food in their own little township, in their front yard, in the backyard, because, oh, it brings animals. Don't worry about Atlantis. That was nothing. We don't need individual sustainable communities all over the world. Puerto Rico doesn't need to sustain itself. We can send all the food to and tax all the food, you know, and look, how did that turn out for them? Oh, don't worry. Global trade is for everybody, baby. New world order. We're going to help everybody. We love all you. And everybody sitting back there cheering their governments. Oh, we're going to take out the Trump monster and put in our own monster. That's going to end up better. I'd rather my own monster chew off my children's feet and poop them out their butt. If it sounds crazy, it's not. It's just history. It's just history. That's why I love to look back. And this is my point. Everyone talks about the end. Everyone talked about the end of the world. I don't think the world ever really ends. I think that we just get to a place where our systems become so unsustainable, we can't focus on what really matters. Preserving human life. The government does, though. What do? They, what is it called? Government continuity? All right, I got a question. Somebody answer this question for me. How in the hell does that word even exist? Are you government? I mean, you might be a postal worker or something, but are you attached to? How in the world do they just put right in your face that we are more important than you? We are better than you. We are your betters. We need to continue because we provide a service for you. So we need to have bunkers. We need to take a portion of your money and build structures so our families can live while yours dies. How does that word even exist? How does that even come out of a politician's mouth and people are still voting for him? Because we're 98% monkeys. That's why I you know, they say, well, why are you laughing? This is dark. This is a dark message. Why is this dude on here laughing about it? Well, I don't necessarily believe the same things everybody believes. I don't think this is it. I think that when we go, there's something else. I think here on this planet, all we can do is do our best, and it all comes to an end, and we go back to energy, because everything's energy anyway, right? Like, I don't want to get too weird. I read a lot of interesting things, but if everything is energy, all matter is just energy. You're just energy. All the things that seem crazy, that when you look back in the day, you think, oh, they just crazy people, you know, eating mushrooms and smoking tweeds, seeing things. But all of them, all over the planet, every single culture who all talked about energy and spirituality, I don't think so. I was listening to a good theory. It was interesting. They were talking about the evolution of our species. And after all these Kali Yuga, these times of great lack of spirituality and understanding that there's something greater than us. Spirituality, why is it important? Because if you can give a human being fear, you can make them do whatever you want. You can make them love slavery. You can make them love war. You can make them love genocide. And you can make them vote for it over and over and over and over. Because they're fearful of losing their lives. And the danger of spirituality is it gives you something beyond that, where you don't sit back and worry about it. I don't worry about it. Like, I'm not worried. I think that Everything plays out how it's supposed to. And if we're sentient enough to put in sentient, if not sentient leadership, break down to some sort of a smaller level of, I don't know if it's governing, but collectivism, we're not supposed to make it. You know, exactly. But Brother Christopher just said it right there. Energy can't be destroyed. If energy can't be destroyed, the fear you have is completely illogical. You just shift and change into some other energy and you just, something else happens. Everybody, a lot of people claim they know what happens. I don't know what happens. I'm not sure I even care what happens. What I care about is people stop being scared, right? Stop being scared, because when you give up that fear, you can stand up for the things that are right. You can do the things that are right. All right, I'm gonna look at some of the comments. I just wanted to share that this morning. They found Atlantis, y'all. They found Atlantis, and that is Atlantis. When you look at the geological evidence and you look at the shallow and everything that came out of the Kali Yuga, you know, that is probably the most interesting structure when it came to that whole search for Atlantis. Somebody can post, because I didn't see the documentary. Apparently it was an old documentary from 2011, and now one of these brothers I watched on YouTube goes by the name of Bright Insight Jimmy. He threw out a video, and I'll post a link for it. It was phenomenal how they just went through everything Plato said and they linked it right up to this structure. Everything from the mountains to the rear that had the lakes and the water. You can see the erosion patterns that it actually described the civilization that they talked about. I think it's highly important that we focus on the fact that we don't get to make it if we stay in these little tribalized groups. We don't get to make it when I think I'm better than you. I think my people are better than you. I think my people are smarter than you. I think that my people's lives matter a little more than your lives matter. You know, when we stop doing that, and we stop joining these teams and jerseys, we actually get somewhere. We actually take all of that technology we have today and we use it for humanity and civilization, not for greed and profit and power and control of other nations. Wahid says, when people go, people will rise. Spirit has no color and they're wasted their whole lives. Thank you, brother. Did y'all please listen to what this brother's saying? You don't actually have a color. You know, you don't actually have a tribe. You don't actually, I'm not even sure if you really even got a religion. Like these things, these are like physical world type things that people get evolved and they get locked into. And that reminds me, brother, what I wanted to say. So in terms of like how we evolved, they say after these Kali Yugas, we evolved based on certain concepts that drive us. If you think about our technological evolution, right? You have technological evolution, but you can also have spiritual evolution. You can have all different types of evolution. But, you know, during this particular path we went, somebody invented a wheel, maybe. And the modern physics of the physical world kind of took over everything. And still today, the wheel drives everything. You know, Nikola developed electricity, you know, and so electricity, whether AC or DC, and that drove everything. And so wheels are in everything. Electricity is used for everything. But what if at another time somebody didn't invent the wheel? What if they were just meditating, sitting in a temple somewhere, and they were able to move something with their mind, some ESP or some remote viewing type of spiritual energy power that we don't understand, that the US government spent, what was it, $60 million on the project for? Because it was just not true. It's just fake and a myth. These people are lying to you, I'm telling you. But what if another evolved down that path of mind over matter? Because we know mind is over matter. This man is talking crazy. Mind over matter, that's crazy. Not only did it say it in the Bible and the Quran, but mind over matter that they say with the placebo effect, that we talk about with quantum physics, that we know is real, that you can control things with your mind. Do we know how to do it? I don't know how to do it. I don't think I know how. If I know, one of y'all know how to do that, y'all need to call me, because I don't. I don't know how to do it. I've not seen it done. And in fact, to be honest with you, if people can do that, the mutants, if they can do that, I seriously don't think that you want to let anybody know that you can. I believe, you know what? I don't know. I think about it. There's probably somebody right here, right now that's like taking spoons and bending them with their mind. They probably are. But like, hell no, I ain't gonna say nothing. I can bend a spoon, but I can't fly. And the US government got drones and they kill people. They don't care who you are. They kill you. They'll come for you. They're a system. If I talk about the government, it's just a system. It's not people. You got people attached to the system. And I'm not anti-politician. I'm not, because I look at it like we're all complicit with it, right? You know, the politician is a piece in a cog of a system that's just out of control and it's just running towards greed, you know, and we're pieces of that cog too. We all work, we all pay our taxes, we all run businesses, we're all attached to it. None of us are excluded. So it's easy to like pick out one point of the cog in the system and say, it's that cog's fault because that cog in the machine is bigger than me as my cog and the cog I am. No, we're all a part of a system. It's just a system that's out of control. And that's why I listen to people and I promote people who say we need a world model change. We need a model change. Somebody, who said that? Somebody said this. Christopher, once again, the system is broken. It is that simple. Now, was it designed to break? I think so. I think so. I think the pharaohs and you know what I think? I think the Atlantean, the leaders, they actually got away. I think that they probably, it's like, yeah, we need to build more channels and tunnels and we need to do this and we need to irrigate and that. And all the people are off doing that and working and whatever. We need to party, drinking the wine and tweed, smoking and dancing and having sex, having fun. And meanwhile, they were making one big flying ship, one big V-Monitor to get the hell out of there when the asteroid hit. Asteroid hit, they flew away. I think that the elite always make it because they get us focused on fighting each other. That's why I'm against every effort of poor people to fight each other. That's why I don't mention Trump without Obama. I don't think Trump is the problem. Removing him will solve exactly nothing. Zero. Zilch. All it means is you're going to put someone in so you can be as gaslit as the other side, pretending that the elite actually give a damn about any of us. They don't. They don't. How do I know they won't? They don't? Because if I were one of them, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't care about y'all. I'd be like, y'all dumb monkeys. If I was born into that type of wealth and power, you think I'd tell you what was going on? You think I'd tell you why you can't go to, what is it, Antarctica? Why y'all not allowed to go down there? I know my flat earthers are flipping out. They're like, you talk about Atlantis. You know, Atlantis is right here in Africa. That's not what I'm saying. But you can't go to Antarctica. And you know how dumb it is? The idea that people actually can't travel to Antarctica unless you're like at a certain level. And if you go there, you can only go here, 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 here. And then you got to leave. You can't stay. You can't vacation, can't party, have some fun, travel around and see what's down there because they don't want you to see what's down there. Yeah, we can get into theories as to why. I don't know why. You know, maybe the Atlantean people didn't go to the moon. Maybe they went to Antarctica because it was warm during that time. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is they don't want you to look there. That's where you go. You know, the other book I was reading is The Art of War. The Art of War. Good book. You always go where your enemy does not want you. Always look where your enemy tries to hide from you. You win every war if you know what your enemy doesn't. Right? So anytime and I'm not saying government's the enemy. It's not. It's greed and profit. And right now, greed and profit run them. Anything that they want to try to do that doesn't directly help humanity, I'm against. I'm always against. So we need to know what's in Antarctica. Governments can't have secrets. You know, that's why my solution always fall back on people. We're putting body cameras on the poor people. Bad idea. It's not going to help anything. Right? Like putting the body cameras on the police, it helped people to see that what most of us have been seeing our whole damn life. He's talking about the police beating people. No, that the politicians wrote the law. They broke policing. They rolled out a police state. And now police, because their interaction with the public is so damn bad, because the laws are so damn unconstitutional, and that they're beating the hell out of people because people don't like them. And they like their rights and they want to keep it. But you take the body cameras off the other poor people because the police are buying bunkers and growing food and trying to have sustainable communities off grid also. And you put the body cameras on the people making the decisions, the politicians. You get to know everything they do, everywhere they go. I'm gonna add that to the list of the people I'd vote for. Because my list is very small, very small. I'm gonna go when it was time for me to vote. Because some people that tell me don't go vote, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I go vote. It's gonna be real quick. It's gonna be like boop boop. I'm done. But you know, you didn't finish. You had at the bottom of the system, you got to vote for everybody. Abstain, 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 abstain. No, because if your model is based in lying to me, what I look like? Do I really look that stupid? Do I look that gaslit? Do I look like I watch Fox News and CNN and MSNBC and NB and all of these news channels telling people to talk about things that absolutely don't matter and don't amount to a hill of beans when it comes to the fact that every 10 to 13,000 years, whatever we evolve to gets wiped out? We need to focus on real issues. Real issues. Real issues are we are very fragile. Real issues are if you fight with other poor people, the wealthy always win. And I'm not talking about people got millions of dollars. They got somebody right now, I got millions of dollars. What's he talking about? You are poor. You are poor. You can't even afford biscuits in the new automated economy that's coming when the robots start really getting rolled out, because every day they're rolling them out. Every day while you fight Trump. We got to get out May. We got to get out Merkel. Man, if we could just replace Putin, you're just going to put another human being, 98% monkey in that spot, and it's going to do the same thing that they all do. But you'll be okay with it because they have your skin color, the thing that doesn't exist because your energy. They have your religion, the thing that doesn't exist because your energy, you know? So, all right, I'm going to look at comments. I went off into a little bit of a rant. I was excited this morning. I was watching Jimmy's video. I was like, oh my God, they found Atlantis. I didn't know this. And nobody told me. I was like, they didn't found it. It makes perfectly good sense. The water came in, washed everything away, covered everything in mud, and left a long shallows and eroded all back out to the ocean, changed the structure. And it's like, you know, Plato wasn't lying. The Egyptians weren't lying. We always get wiped out because we're too silly and dumb and stupid to fight with our neighbor. Instead of saying, government, why in the hell are you subsidizing the growth of corn and soybean? Why the hell aren't we building houses on stilts, sustainable communities? Why the hell are we doing world global trade so billionaires can become trillionaires as opposed to feeding the people in our country? Why aren't we subsidizing growing tomatoes and peppers? You know, why are you still talking dumb stuff about immigration and you know you're the reason why people have to migrate? Human migration. Why do humans migrate? Why do humans migrate? The same reason herds migrate, and they get the population dumb. They get the population lost in all of this fantasy that, oh, they just want to come to my country and take my jobs and my food. No, damn it. It's because somebody spooked the herd. You ever watch National Geographic? You should watch National Geographic every now and then. A predator comes in the herd, spooks the herd. A lot of the herd, they start just eating and chewing up the babies. And what happens? Run. Exactly. The humans run. And they migrate. They get the hell out of there. And you be living in a country where that's happening, you're supposed to be smart enough to figure that out. Like, damn it, who let some damn tigers loose? What the hell is going on? Why are y'all running here? You talk to the immigrant, what's going on? Well, they're raping and killing my country. Okay, I had to migrate. Okay, so how about we fix this? And fixing this, no, it's not locks. It's not guns, and it's not prisons, and it's not ICE. It's not any of these dumb ideas. It's not protesting May. These things are stupid. It's you growing the hell up, looking at yourself and saying, damn it, am I a part to letting some damn tigers loose in the world? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. If you voted yes, you let a tiger loose in the world and it's chewing everybody's babies up. It is called the military industrial complex. And you know what? We're collapsing. You say, oh, well, it'll be okay. And then if America collapses, because around the world, that's what they're saying right now. They're not saying it to your face. I see them, though. They're cheering. I go out. I have friends all over the world. I go out on their page. They just clapping and laughing like, man, it's about to collapse. Like, yay, Chris Hedges. Yay. The dollar's about to collapse. Part of what they say is right. But it's going to hurt. And then the future of that's going to be wrong, because then Russia will step up. And what is Russia going to do? Okay, they're the new billionaire's favorite. Whether it went from the Huns to the Romans to the Britons to America to Russia, it just keeps going. It's the same thing over and over and over and over and over. I don't know how many times I can say over, but y'all get it yet? It's just history. It's history, and it's not history of empires. It's history of us being stupid. Gotta stop being. Gotta stop being. Got to go ahead and take off your jersey and realize that this thing doesn't work when we fight poor people. Yes, the system is invalid. The system from a, Yuli said the system is invalid. From a human perspective, it's invalid. From a sentient perspective, it's completely invalid. For doing anything for your neighbor, doing anything to prepare us for the future, completely invalid. Completely. We can feed the whole world. We can house the whole world. We're simply choosing not to. And anybody who chooses not to is not on your side. Why? Because you're a human freaking being. That's why. Like I have another rule too. I was talking about common sense. Common sense is not a thing, right? Because it's not common. You know, you look out there. Do your friends have common sense, y'all? Does your family, when y'all talk to them, they got common? I talk to my family. I like, I love you. Yeah. Oh, baby, you don't get it. Do you have a fever? Is it no? They watch the news. They don't have a fever. There's no common, because the news controls common sense. Hollywood control, Bollywood, Nollywood. They all control. They tell people what to think. Common sense is wrong. It's like a mid-tier thing that we need to get rid of. We need sentient sense. That's what I was posting this morning. We need sentient sense. We need to go down to the core and the base of it. If it kills humans, it's bad. How about that? How about if we're human, if it kills humans, it's bad. Whatever that system might be, whatever that group might be, whatever that political party might be, whatever that nation might be, if it kills us and you're a us, it's bad. I'm not going to support it. I'm not going to vote for it. I'm not going to cheer it. I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to subscribe to it. And I'm not going to post it out. If it kills humans, or it's okay with killing humans, it's bad. You know, and so I didn't even touch the news this morning, but it's you know, news was right on that point, same point, you know, in terms of Facebook and Google and Twitter. They got them back in there. You got the politicians that you voted for beating the hell out of them again, telling them, oh, they got to start censoring harder and more. And finally, social media is agreeing. They're like, you should have seen them. They're like, all right, you got us. Yeah, we should have done more. It was our fault. Russia did it. And meanwhile, Russia didn't do any damn thing. It was Seth Rich. Russia didn't do anything. It was their own damn corruption in their own party. But they took that and they actually turned it into this massive intent to censor the media. So people won't talk about stuff like Atlantis. They won't talk about sentience. They won't talk about common sense. They won't talk about it's a bad idea to genocide people and kill and murder. And that's what's happening on social media right now. And social media, they can only stand up to the pressure long enough. And that's what we see right now. Social media is like, all right, we're done. We give up. We give up. Who do you want us to shut up? You know, NATO's taking over Facebook. And I don't think it's too late. I think we can pull these things back. But those corporations got to run their own corporation. They can't have governments running them. You know, it's like, is Trump unfit? No, I don't think he is. Trump actually reminds me of most Americans. I won't tell them I love him to death, but he may not be their skin color. He may not be their political party. He may not have the same money they got, but they damn sure talk just like him. On Twitter, when the wife isn't around, the husband isn't around, they act just like him. You know, when they're not trying to seem intelligent at work, just like him. The world is Trump. This society makes Trump. So no, the problem isn't Trump being fit for office. The question is, are voters who watch the mainstream media fit to vote? That's the real question. Are the voters fit to vote? Because if the media controls the common sense, we're not going to have a sentient government. All right, I'm going to go back and look at comments. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yes, brother Kevin, we are just energy. As energy, we are eternal and without boundary. We are here to learn the limitations only life can provide. Yes, brother Kevin, you get it. I see your post, brother. Ah, man, I love everything you post. You're right. And that's it. You know, we're born into this place and we're supposed to be greater than this, supposed to be bigger than this. Kevin, like we supposed to be pulling our big panties up, man. You know? We're supposed to be pulling, like, yeah, what is life about? Like, I want some kids that are philosophers, right? Why do you have like Plato and Socrates and these philosophers back then? Because they had the time to sit back and just think. Why do you want everybody to work for big corporations? Because you're a slave and you have this slave mind concept that you have to keep working. when really these kids need to be born and just putting them in think tanks. Take the kids, put them in a room with a bunch of other kids, and I don't know, throw a puppy and a ball and some socks and some electricity and see what they do with it. They'll probably play with it. Think about it. We need people just thinking. We probably need 30% of our population that doesn't have to have a physical labor job. Give that to the robots and let people just sit there and talk to each other. Think of new concepts. Think of new things for the robots to do. Think of new ways we can have a different type of sustainable community, not just on land, because we can do those all over land, but sustainable communities in the water. You know, the Venus Project touched on some of that. How do you build sustainable communities all automated? Everybody can have what they want. So people can just sit around and think about it. Think about amazing things like Plato. If you listen to some of what Plato talks about, oh my goodness. And listening to the Timaeus, I'm blowing my mind. But it's funny, I think of a lot of people, if you actually started reading the Timaeus and you start looking at what he wrote, it would sound like gobbledygook. It'll sound like gobbledygook because our minds are closed. He starts talking about creation and the things that the gods did. And you say, oh, he said God can't be true. And I think you get lost when that happens. You know, we just step back and admit we don't actually know anything. We are a lost species. We followed a technological route that proved to us that technology is everything and humans are just bags of goo that don't have any control over energy. He talks about the trapezoids and the pyramids and it gets kind of, it's out there. I'm telling you, man, it's how you, some of my friends feel like they're smoking some weed when they're listening to him, but we need forward-thinking people. That's why I love philosophers. We need people who think outside of the box. We need to connect people. Brother Bjorn actually has a good group and a community that talks about these things. Like, we need people to start strengthening themselves in their own communities. You know, folks, you can't walk away from this colonized government made by people with white wigs and feather pens and hate women and hate you and everything that came from your indigenous, your culture, your ethnicities. They hate all of that. We can't get away from them if people aren't strong, right? If you need their infrastructure, you need their systems, you need to vote a certain way because you need health care, because you're sick, because you're not eating food, you're not out working a garden or growing or something, yeah, then we need them. If we don't have the kids that are being deployed and doing the automation, writing the software for systems that are growing food so we don't need their corn and their GMO soybean and all of that nonsense, if we can take care of each other, we can make our own decisions. But if we're dependents, we don't decide nothing. The deciders decide everything for us. If I were born American, I would vote for the candidate promising to write the first executive order restraining reinstating the Constitution, get rid of continuity of government rules for the war on a feeling. And if you're on it, you're definitely onto something. I mean, I don't claim that I have all the solutions. I don't have any. I have ideas and ideas like that you gave, and that actually would be a positive thing. It would be a powerful thing. And it's not an issue, and it's not even about being an American citizen. I think what are you in Australia? It's about helping the world contain the tigers, right? Tigers running around the world, eating babies and causing warlords and rape gangs and genocides and starvation artificially, scaring the herd, causing the mass migrations. Then what I would do is I would do something similar to that. And that makes perfectly good sense. Some sort of an act or executive order that reinstates the Constitution to some degree, the deletion of every law that is unconstitutional to a strict sense. I don't think we need all of these laws. You know, everything is crony right now. We don't live in a capitalist society. We live in a crony capitalist society that was heading towards crony fascism and socialism. That's where we live, you know, so that's important. Wage slavery is a continuation of elitist system of thousands of years. Exactly, Brother John, and that's how they lock us in, because people need the money. That's it. They need the money. Well, you know what? Let's be. I don't know. I'm gonna step back on that a little bit. They don't need all that money, but they do need money, right? Because they don't know how to grow food. No one around them's growing food. All the fields are corn and soybean. You know, they need to downscale their lives so they don't need as much of the money. You don't need as much of the things that beholden to us. Like, why do you have to have a Benz or BMW right now? If they cost $50,000, why did they sell them at $80,000? Because people buy them at $80,000. What if you stopped buying them? What if you only bought small things? What if you repaired things? I mean, we have to go back to being more sustainable. We always were more sustainable people. You know, we didn't have to work all the daggone time because we weren't as greedy as we are today. We didn't need the massive house. We didn't need everything everybody else can't have, because that's what bank accounts did. They gave us that ability to store up more than one season. Now we can store up 30 years in a bank account instead of putting just the food we can carry in our belly or a pouch or a rice still, you know. But it's a part of that slave mindset. I have to keep working. I have to keep working. I have to keep. It's like Dory. Y'all remember Dory? Y'all trying Finding Nemo? That's it. Vegans here. He's always talking about, I'm talking about kid stories. Yes. Damn it. I always talk about kid movies and kid stories. Got 3 boys, man. We dance and sing in the car. You know, this is what, this is where my mind goes. But that Dory, keep on swimming, keep on swimming, keep on swimming. Keep picking cotton, jump down, turn around, pick a bale of cotton, go and jump down, turn around, pick a bale of hay. Y'all remember that? Harry Belafonte? Because people get lost in that slave mind, and it's not a black thing, it's not an African thing, it's not any of those things. It's just that people have been convinced they have to work, and everybody around them has to share the same misery of working too. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Technology doesn't agree with that. Big corporations actually don't agree with that. They just lie to you, and they don't tell you that we actually can do it. But we got to figure out how to wake up more people. People ask, so what do I do? Go talk to people. That's what you do. Go talk to people. You know, you can like me, subscribe to me, damn it, hate me if you don't, you know, but if I said something that makes some sense, go tell somebody else. Go to your family, you know, go to your friends. Eventually, after a while, when people, they keep hearing the same thing, they stop being gaslit. Like the first time you tell them you can impeach Trump, it's not going to change any damn thing but your ego. First time they get upset. They hate it. First day, like in my country, they're like, you're a Republican. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm an adult. I look at the empirical facts of everybody y'all put in office. They all do the same damn thing. They're not changing anything. So what's the point? You know, the only power that they have is the power we give them. And we keep giving them all the power because we still think that if we put our pharaohs in, it's going to be different than their pharaohs. Brother Rod said he shares my live stream. I appreciate that, brother. I do appreciate all the support. I don't do this for money. I come up here and I got to go pick my cotton. I got to go pick my cotton in a minute. That's why I'm about to get off of here. But I'll come out here and I do this because I give a damn. Right? I give a damn. And it bothers me that some of the most intelligent people I've known in my life, some of the people I respect the most, they seem so lost. They're so scared. They have the ability intellectually to process what's going on around them. They know they're being played, but they still play with it. You know, it's like the example of a spouse, right? You meet, boyfriend and girlfriend meet each other, they're having fun, doing stuff together. Yay, we're in love. And one of them not really in love. They got girls all over the place. You know, why would you marry a man that shows no fidelity? Maybe he's fun, you like to play with him or something. I don't know. That didn't sound right. But why would you marry somebody that shows no fidelity? Why would you continue to marry the whole world to a government that shows no fidelity with the human race or any respect for life at all, that shows no sentience? Why would you keep marrying Earth to these people? It makes no sense to me. It's crazy. You know it's not going to end up, well, you know it's going to end in a lot of yelling, screaming, running. The police going to come and divorce later and fighting over the kids. Why would you do that? Why would you keep doing that? I think when you take those personal examples, it makes more sense. You know, you want to marry me to the Democrat Party, and I know the Democrat Party, they hate people. Not anyone in the Democrat Party, not necessarily the DNC, but the model that they have is based on murdering people and putting them in prison, just like the Republicans, just like most parties in most countries, because everybody's locked in the same lie of tribalism that you are this thing you're born into, and you're not. You're greater than that. The natives knew that. They had a nice running system working along with nature, which they understood. Yes, Christine. And you know why, Christine? Why I think that's true is because I think they sat around and observed. I think they weren't lost, like the brother was saying, in this lie of labor. They talked. They joined these groups and they thought about sustainability. They observed nature and they thought about the future. And when they said we want better for our kids than what we have for us, they actually believed it when they said it. They didn't say it because it sounded good like most people today. who are willing to just sell their kids off into slavery and forced labor and death and destruction to AI killer murderous robots that Elon Musk keep telling y'all about. They say it because it sounds good, because you think they're good people when they say that. Oh, I care more about my babies than me. I do anything for my kids. But I wouldn't stand back and tell the politicians I'm not going to vote for them because you're not lining up any decent future for my kids. They wouldn't do that. Oh, no. They're not going to lead a group of the tribe. Oh, no. Because it just sounds good. And it makes you think that they're good people. That's why they say it. Let me see. You're an optimist. I'm a realist, but I hope you're right. Yeah, why? You know what? I go back and forth. I go back. Some days, some things, I'm an optimist. Some days, like, oh, hell no, we need to run. Depends on the day. I don't know. What's in the coffee? It depends on the factors I looked at. But I'm hopeful today. Let me say this. I'm hopeful today because I see Atlantis and I'm like, they finally found it. Maybe now we can talk about why did we have to look for it? We had to look for it because that highly advanced civilization disappeared. Why did they disappear? Because they didn't prepare for what was obviously coming. Caves all over the world, they drew the asteroids coming. The world was just unstable going back in time, which probably brings about a good question. Why is the world so stable now? For the last 10,000 years, it's been pretty stable. And why is it on a regular basis that it gets destabilized? If somebody coughed Planet X, Planet X, the planet now that even NASA admits it exists. They don't know how often it comes around. It's got an elliptical orbit, but they're looking for it. They know it's out beyond the Oort cloud. And when these big, massive bodies come in, they bring a lot of the debris from the Oort cloud with them. So asteroids hit, causing all these deluges every couple Kali Yugas. Could be. I don't know. We don't know anything. And that's kind of my stance on it, is I don't know. I'm a pessimist when it comes to certain things, and I'm an optimist when it comes to others. Right now, I'm a little pessimistic because I see people getting ready to vote for some more killer, murdery bastards. I'm a little pessimistic because I see them still talking about get rid of Trump instead of get some love and empathy in your own heart. I see them getting rid of, they're about to get rid of the one person who actually mimics most Americans. You know, if you look at it from a non-selective perspective, just like everybody else, he just has a little more. That's all. Just as arrogant and ignorant as most Americans. He just has more. It doesn't look like you, so you don't like him. Didn't come from your party, but he looks like them or came from their party, whatever. And that's why they like him. Got to get past these personalities and all the liking stuff. That's stupid, man. Come on, we got to grow up. Got things to do. We got big people topics to talk about. We got things to fix. You know, all the other nonsense, it just perpetuates it. Just makes it worse. They just keep pushing the cart, keep on swimming, talk about some racism, keep on swimming, keep on being mad at the other group, keep on bigots fighting bigots and fascists fighting fascists and left fighting right and indigenous fighting immigrants before they become immigrants because a tiger gets loose in their country, they become an immigrant, then they want some help. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep living like a child. Keep making up nonsense. Somebody said chemtrails. Keep sitting that brother, yeah, coming out of California, all the chemtrails. See the chemtrails, keep denying it. Like, oh, they're not spraying nothing. Meanwhile, the damn CIA whistleblower said, yeah, they are. They got the projects in the colleges and that they plan to do these experiments on. Like, no, my government wouldn't do that to me because the Democrats love me. Pharaoh's just a pharaoh. Pharaohs will always be pharaohs because we believe in them. We worship them. We love them more than ourselves because they're our betters. So we always elevate them to places of worship. Politicians walk in like Michael Jackson. That's one of the sickest things I've ever seen, is watching people clapping and cheering for these politicians and fainting like they're gods, like they're Michael Jackson. And why was Michael Jackson a god? He's a little nasty dude. Love his music though. Am I gonna vote for Trump? No, Christopher, I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to. My intellect won't let me. Not gonna vote for Clinton, not gonna vote for Oprah, not gonna vote for Joe Biden. My intellect won't let me. I'm a parent. My kids won't let me. I give a damn about the earth. That won't let me. I care about Yemen and the 18 million people that they're starving to death, and both sides are doing it. That's not going to let me. I care about the people who living around Lake Chad and little girls being raped over there by rape gangs. It's not going to let me. None of their politicians are talking about it. I care about World War III. It's not going to let me. And it's not an anti-Trump thing. That's why I got a lot of Trump friends and non-Trump friends. It's not an anti-Trump thing. It's not a pro-Trump thing. It's a world earth thing. It's an earth thing. You know, we have to look into the future. Everything is much bigger than we are. You know, it's a getting past your ego and making a good decision thing. I don't believe in slavery. Don't believe in rape. I don't believe in mass incarceration. I don't believe in anything that all of the political parties, the big ones, the two big ones, believe in. They love that stuff. I don't believe in unsustainability. They love unsustainability. They're just some pharaohs. That's all they are. They're feudalistic pharaohs, fascist bigots, all of them. And I'm not going to choose which bigot I want to be. I don't want to be any of them. I want to leave people alone. Let people live the world, live the lives they're supposed to. All right, looking for the last comment. Last comment. Somebody can wrap it up. Somebody got a last good comment I can throw out here so I can go pick my cotton. Let me see. I'm gonna go with Brother Mark. Moonwalking matters. Why does moonwalking matter? Because if you look up, somebody was walking on the moon before we were. And it should be obvious to everybody that our government's been lying about it. We made it. I don't know if it was aliens. I think we made it. But they're searching the earth for the technology that the Atlanteans and everybody else used who made it. Listen to the whistleblowers. Trust them. When they work for NASA, they work for the CIA and the FBI, and they're telling you it's a whole lot in space they don't want you to know about. That's what you need to know. It's a whole lot in Antarctica they don't want you to see. That's what you need to go see. There's a whole lot that happens in their offices that you're not supposed to know. So they need classified and top secret. You're supposed to know that. Put a body camera on them. We have classified things we need to protect us from the Russians. Well, I'm not scared of the Russians. You don't get to keep secrets from me. Damn it, I pay your salary. You have no rights to it. No, top secret shouldn't exist. No, it shouldn't be hidden who killed Martin Luther King. Shouldn't be hidden who killed JFK. It shouldn't be hidden who did 9/11. I'm a human being. That's not your right to hide it. Y'all find me a politician that shows a level of sentience, a bare minimum level that says anything close to that? You got me. Until then, you can take that finger and you can you can put it where the sun don't shine, because what you're doing doesn't matter. We got to get bigger than that. They found Atlantis, but we really need to think about why we had to even look for them. What happened to such a great evolved civilization that they just disappeared? Gotta go. This is Gerard. Love y'all to death. Have a great day now.